welcome everyone. Sorry, just fiddling with my iPad so I can see comments. I hope you're all very, very well today. Apologies about the change in time. I've recently completed a professional course for clerking, and I had my coursework submitted last week, and today I had my follow-up call with my learning mentor just to see how I found it, how it went, and to give me a bit of feedback. So the feedback she gave me is because of COVID, I won't find out anything out until June, so bit of an interesting call, but I hope that I've done okay. So yeah, and last night I just had one of those headaches last night, well all day actually, that I just couldn't shift, so I thought just go to bed, get a good night's sleep, and I actually feel really well today. I think it's done us the world of good, done me the world of good. It's sunny outside, I want to look out the window, so all is well here. So today I am going to follow on from my card I made on Monday, which was just a bit about background techniques. I'll just grab the card for you. So this was the card that we put together on Monday, on my Monday morning live, and it was just using a really fun background technique and some dies to create a bit of a layering, play on kind of layering up with those stitched rectangles. And I'm going to carry on with this stamp set today. It is a firm favourite of mine. It is the Basket Blooms stamp set, which is just here, and just show you another technique for creating a fun background. So I hope you'll enjoy what I make. I haven't got a sample to show you because I haven't made one, so we'll see where our crafting takes us today. I hope you're all sitting comfortably. I hope you've got a cup of tea or maybe even your lunch, and let's see what we create. So let's just spin this camera round. There we go, so you should be able to see my desk in a second. Okay, you can see a little bit of my stationery pot, which you don't really want to see. Look, this is how much I've crafted this week. Haven't actually been at my desk since Monday, can you believe it? This was the mess we made on Monday morning. So I'm going to use Basket Blooms. It's in the annual catalogue. It is a photopolymer stamp set, which means it is see-through, and it is really useful for creating backgrounds and little pots of flowers designs. Really useful set. I've used it quite a lot. It actually jumped out of the catalogue to me on my first watch, so right away it was one of my favourites. So today I've got some interesting colours that I don't usually put together. I've got a little bit of shaded spruce. I've got some left over for Christmas. And I've just created two little mounts. So I've got a smoky slate card base, and I have a mount of shaded spruce and whisper white, one for the front and one for the inside of my card. So we're going to start just with the one for the front. Okay, and I'm just going to grab an ink pad. So the trick when you're creating a background design like this, you can put all your images onto single blocks and then stamp individually. But what I find really helpful is putting all your stamps on one block. What that gives you then is that gives you consistency in how your image looks, and it takes less time. And anything that takes less time always gets my vote. I'm going to stamp in basic grey. So all I've done is I've added my stamps to my block so that they're all pretty close together. There's not much gap, and then we will stamp. So I'm just going to ink up my stamp. That wasn't very good stamping, was it? Let's use a stamping mat. So stamping mats are always a good idea to use when you're using a photopolymer stamp set. Just gives you a bit to push against when you are stamping. There we are, that's better. I'm just going to put a light on. That's better. Okay. Well, I've not turned my phone off as well. Right. So I'm just going to stamp all over this piece of white, building up that nice patterned background. There we have it. Okay, so it's a little bit similar to the background that we created on Monday, but it's a little bit lighter in that I've used a basic grey ink pad as opposed to that bright black tuxedo black memento. Okay, so I want to get rid of the white. I want to leave the black and white, sorry, black and white, the grey and white. I'm just going to move something around so I can sit down. Turn off my heater as well. It's very warm in here. Okay. So then what I have now is I have some mint macaron Stampin' blends, and I'm going to use the light shade, and I'm going to colour in my background. So I'm going to colour in around those flowers. And this will just give you a bit of a subtle colour and leave that lovely kind of monochrome stamping, because we're not going to colour those images in. And this will work with any stamp that you use. So it's great for a number of different occasions and people that you want to send your cards to. And this is just what I need this morning after a busy morning. Quite a full-on discussion. Just colouring around all of those. This does take a little bit of time, but it is worth it. And I've gone with the lighter shade because I don't want to have too much. I don't want it to be too bright at all. Keep colouring. Nearly there now, just down to those bottom images. Sophie's put, glad to see your headache is over. Thank you, Sophie, that's really kind of you. Me too. I keep getting them and they're around certain times of the month, and I don't think COVID helps. Emotions are running very high in this house at the moment. My eldest is incredibly frustrated that she's not at school. We've had tears this morning. I just want to go to school, mummy, it's not fair. So because some parents are sending their children in because they're key workers, and it's lovely that they have that option so that they can carry on working, she kind of doesn't get it, because we've always said that daddy's job is important and what mummy does is important. So she now is saying, well, your jobs are important, so why can't I go to school? And sadly her best friend is at school, so it's hard for them, and I don't think any of us appreciate just how hard it is on the children. So yeah, lots of emotions today. So we're off out for a walk later on, I think. So I've done my little bit of background colouring, and now we can add that to our background. My terrible bit of stamping there on the back. We'll just ignore that. Like so. Okay. And then this we can add to the front. Just take those two pieces out of there. I'm going to add this to the front with some dimensionals just to raise it ever so slightly. I know Sharon, bless her indeed. She's really going through it. She's a very clever little girl, and she's just battling with the emotions of a normal 8-year-old, trying to understand the world, and I do really feel for her. Okay, so that's now added to our card front, and we need to do something on the top. So let's grab some dies, shall we? So, dies to use up. I want a background die. Let's see what I've got here. I don't want a big one, I just want a small one. Let's go with one of these. So this is a stitched. No, not a stitched. It's not stitched, Stacey. It is a scallop. It's a layering circle, and it's a scallop. So we've got that one. And is that the next size down? Yeah, that one. So let's cut some of these out, shall we? So I'm going to use my mini Stampin' cut and emboss machine. It now has a foot, which is very good. Stampin' Up sent my little packet of missing pieces, which I'm very, very grateful for. So it is now in perfect condition. Where's my scissors? I'm going to cut this out so that it will go through this little mini machine. So we're going to cut the scallop square. In the shaded spruce. I'm just going to put that on as an angle. Welcome to you, Denise. Thanks for joining us today. I've got some bits to drop off to you tomorrow for your NHS collection. It'll probably be tomorrow afternoon if that's okay. Once all the schoolwork is out of the way. So I've cut a little scalloped square out of the shaded spruce, and we want that's too small, we want a plain one cut from Whisper White. That's my top plate, I couldn't see it then. You could have done with yours yesterday. Oh, Sharon, I'm so sorry. The deliveries at the moment for Stampin' Up, for those of you that aren't aware, and just an update for those of you that are aware, Stampin' Up use UPS to ship their products, their deliveries, and they come from Germany. And because of Brexit, because of COVID, there is somewhat of a delay, and it is frustrating. They're doing everything they can possibly think of to get them to us as quickly as possible, but it's still taking a little bit of time. So I'm so sorry, Sharon, but your delivery is stuck somewhere between Germany, Dartford and here. And because they are so overwhelmed, even the tracking systems aren't being updated properly. So yeah, I don't have any other news, I'm afraid. I so wish I did, and as soon as I have an update I will let you know, but until then we just have to sit and be very, very patient and look forward to that delivery coming and ripping it open like it's Christmas. So let's just stamp a little vase now. Do I want that one? Yeah, let's have this one. Stamp our little vase, and I'm going to cut that out. So now I'm just going to create a little scene. Little scene of flowers using these dies. So I'm going to colour in my tall vase, and I'm going to stick with my colour combination of grey and green, but I'm going to add in some yellow. Okay. And the trick with this colouring, I'm left a little bit of a white space so that we can get a little bit of shading on there. Now with these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my colour lifter to just blend our colours all together. So this stamp set, Sharon, is Basket of Blooms. Okay. And it's in the annual catalogue, the big catalogue. So let's cut that out. Oh, thank you, not my fault. You're absolutely right, it's not my fault. And if I could change it, I absolutely would fly to Germany, pick up all your boxes, deliver them all with a smile, so you've all got everything you need. We can dream, can't we? Now we've got our little vase. I'm going to pop these two down. And I am very, very frugal with my dimensionals. Oops. I'm going to pop that in the middle, like so. And then our white one. Actually, see how wide that is. So that's 6 and that's 6. I'm just going to cut an extra layer because actually that white, that border in there is quite a lot, seeing as we've only got a little bit showing up there. So I'm just going to cut a square that is 6.2 centimetres square. See how this looks. I might just break it up. No, that needs to be a little bit bigger. We'll save that piece. Let's go 6.4. It's all trial and error today. It has been a busy old week. That's better. Much, much better. It just takes that, without that layer of grey, I think that green is just too much green there, so let's add that little layer of smoky slate under it, shall we? Welcome, Anne. Oh, trouble with your iPad. I hate technical issues. I'm a nightmare for them, but you're here now and that's lovely. How are you feeling? I hope you're not suffering in too much pain, bless you, and I hope you've got a good, someone's looking after you as well. So let's add these two. Here we go. Oh, sneezing now. Oh, and again, dearie me. Right, so let's pop our little vase down and we'll stick that on with a dimensional. Now the reason I'm sticking this down with a dimensional is because I want to layer some things in and around it. Okay, so it's starting to look like a card, isn't it? So now let's stamp our pieces. onto our piece of white, and we'll colour these in. So I'm going to stick with my green, and I've got some yellows. So I've got Daffodil Delight and Mint Macaron, and I'm going to colour them quite lightly because I don't want them to be too bright. And we're going to have grey flowers as well, because why? So she's put, I'm fine, foot still elevated, pain not too bad, but hubby is my chef and nurse and doing a great job. Oh, how wonderful. That's lovely. I'm so glad you're being looked after. What's his cooking like, Anne? If it's anything like mine, I would be living on beans on toast and cereal. But they do a great job, don't they? And I may not use all these flowers. I may only use some of them. And then for our leaves, I'm going to use the dark Mint Macaron. Just to make it stand out from that background a bit. Let's have another leaf. Marion's put, love this method. Thank you, Marion, that's very kind. It's certainly calming me down after this morning and yesterday. Okay, so we can now cut these out, and there is a punch for those large flowers. So this stamp set coordinates with the small bloom punch. This was free during last year's celebration, but it is also available in the main catalogue to buy on its own. So just pop those out. Let's see if this will work. It will work, look. Here we go. Colouring does that. It definitely does, doesn't it, Maz? I'm going to try and get out at lunchtime and have a little walk because it is a beautiful day here. The dog will not be impressed at leaving the house. And then I've got an afternoon of actual schoolwork to do. Sharon's put, now I skipped this stamp set, but by seeing what can be done with it, I might have to have it. It's interesting, isn't it? I absolutely love this, that what one person sees in the catalogue and absolutely has to have, someone else will completely not see it. And I love that because I've done it myself. There was a post last month from the artisan team using a bundle of products. I can't remember the bundle name. And I actually remember commenting and saying to them, I've never seen this, because I hadn't even looked at it in the catalogue. But then after seeing what they did with it, you've just got to have it, haven't you? So yeah, it's definitely one of my favourite things about being a demonstrator. Marion's put, we are popping over to Mum's. Oh lovely, she'll like that. She'll love that. And Anne's put, great way of using small stamps to make backgrounds. It really, really is. And some people that I know have said, well, I like that stamp set, but actually, apart from using it to make a basket of flowers, what can I do with it? So hence my cards this week. And you can do this with any stamp set. If you've got, you know, stamps that you think, oh, I don't know what to do with that, or I'm bored of making just one scene, kind of break it down and build some backgrounds and create your own patterned papers. Oh, Sharon, I love that. That's why your live videos are so useful, albeit not for my bank account. No, I keep watching Emma Goddard, who I'm a huge, huge fan of. And her videos aren't good for my bank account either. Not at all. So I do appreciate that, and I do get it. So now what we can do is we can start putting our flowers on to build up our little vase. So with these flowers, the bigger ones, all I'm doing is I'm just curling them slightly to just raise them up a little bit. Okay. And then where are my mini dimensionals? They're on the floor. So using a little mini, pop that in the centre. And then that is then raised to be a similar height as your vase. I'm going to do that with all the flowers actually, just to curl them slightly. And these mini dimensionals are great for smaller things. And you can put on as many or as few as you like. It's entirely your choice. I actually think it needs another one up there, but... And then these ones, a trick with the leaves is using your bone folder is to curl them. See? You just get a little curl, and then when you tuck them in, you just get a little bit of extra depth with them. And then, ooh, we'll just slot them in and around. Tombow is pumping out, which means it's a blockage somewhere, isn't it? Let's pop that one down there. That one's a little bit too curly. Okay. So that is our, look at that. What on earth is going on with my Tombow? Right, so we've got that. I think I should put another flower there. So I'm just going to stamp and colour one more. I'm going to do one of the big ones. Let's have that one. That's it. It's a mess. My Tombow is a mess. You're absolutely right. It must have a blockage or something. Stop doing it now. It must be to do with the pressure that's kind of built up. So I'll be going in and unblocking that this afternoon. Do we think that looks better? Yeah, I do. I think that looks much better. Where's my stamp? Here's my notepad. Let's do one more and then I promise I will stop faffing with it. Haven't even got a sentiment on this card yet, have we? Another inspirational card. Oh, bless you. Thank you, Anne. That's really kind. Quite like the colours, actually. I wasn't sure, but I do quite like them. This is the kind of the OCD in me, in that I didn't like that one there because then it's two flowers the same together. So that's why I went with the different bigger one. On there, and then this one can go under as well. lovely, much better. I'm happier with that now. So now we just need to choose a sentiment. I am going to choose the Itty Bitty Birthday stamp set, which really is my go-to stamp set at the moment. I really like it. So let's get Time to Celebrate, see if that will fit. Also exciting. No, don't like that. Time to Celebrate. Yeah, let's go for that. And I'm going to stamp it, which you're probably not going to be very surprised about this. I'm going to heat emboss it. So we need our Versamark and our embossing buddy. And let's pop this on there like so. And we want some white embossing powder. Of course we do. So I've stamped that onto white. I've stamped that with Versamark, added the white embossing powder, and we've used shaded spruce as our cardstock for that. That's it, and then we'll just trim around this into a little banner. Brilliant, there we have it, Time to Celebrate. So let's put a little dimensional under there. And there we have our finished card front. It's quite a busy design, but I do like the colour combination that I've used there. And then for the inside, we've just got the same layering that we can use to bring that card all together. And I'm going to leave this inside blank because of the sentiment we've used. It could be for a number of occasions. It could be for a promotion. It could be for a birthday, an anniversary, congratulations. So I'm going to leave that completely blank. And there we have it. We have our finished background design. So very, very similar to this one. This is the one we made on Monday. This one I've stamped in black onto white and I've coloured in the flowers rather than the background. This one here, I've stamped the background in, I've stamped the flowers in basic grey and then I've coloured in the background with a light mint macaron Stampin blend. So just a completely different way of approaching a background, creating your own patterned paper. And then for this one I've used the stitched rectangles. This white piece has been cut out of that bottom piece and then we've just added that black mount to raise it. This one we've used the layering, they're not circles, the layering square dies, created our own little mount, and then we've got this beautiful vase design with raised flowers and leaves, finished with a heat embossed sentiment. So that's my design for you today. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined along and spent some time with me. I really do love it. It keeps me going. I'll be live here next at 8:30 on Sunday, all being well. And I have no idea what I'll be making. We may have some new products by then. I'm not hopeful. Well, I am hopeful. I have no idea if it's going to turn up or not. But if it does, we'll have new product to play with. If it doesn't, who knows what I'll use. So I hope you all have a good few days. And I look forward to speaking to you all very soon. If you have any questions about the products I've used or techniques, drop me a message and I'll come back to you. Thanks everyone, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.